Santa Fe CLIC book from 1991. So we got the fancy Q code here. So this is Western Region, bulletin number 13. Santa Fe in the middle. CLIC, San Diego and Escondido subdivisions. Dated for 1991. I have a second one I just did from 1988. Interesting how they describe it different. That this one says 4th Division, subdivision. For Los Angeles Division, 4th subdivision, then this one just says San Diego and Escondido subdivisions. Gives the same mileposts, but it'd be a little bit different. This one, all the 1991 books have a list of all the different CLIC books and what areas they cover. This is Western Region CLIC book assignments effective 1990. So, gives me a list of ones to look for. Then we get into what the CLIC books are about, how the paperwork's set up for crews to find train cars or deliver train cars. These are some of the notes explaining to the crews, because all these documents are stuff that the crews would carry with them, and tell them, okay, if you got this number, this is what you do, or if it's this type train car, this is what you do, here's the rules, and everything else. The next section is alphabetical. I try to keep these as short as I can so I don't do all the alphabetical ones. However, if you're interested in the alphabetical ones, my email is jusle@aol.com. Send me an email, I'll take pictures and email them back to you so you have those for your records. Okay, the 1988 book starts at San Onofre. This one starts a little bit sooner, a little farther north. So we start out at Gallivan. Then our next stop is San Juan Capistrano, followed by Serra. If you look at this one compared to some of the other ones, this is a computer sheet, more accurate, yeah. The colors are more crisp, and instead of having the mileposts inside the diamond, they're above the diamond. It's kind of neat. It's got a little thing here about engineering services, Topeka. That's who did it. Nice touch. Okay, continuing on, now we got San Onofre. And then we have Stewart. This is now known as Stewart Mesa. This is where Coaster keeps some of their equipment. It's also a place where they maintain their equipment there. Store it. And then there's a yard there that BNSF uses. And then we come into Fallbrook Junction. This is Camp Pendleton. The line is severed past this point nowadays. But back then it shows that it still went to Fallbrook, the original right-of-way for the Santa Fe, way back when. Next we have the tracks at Fallbrook Junction. I think it's now known as the Oceanside Yard. There's Fallbrook Junction. Next page is Oceanside. And we've got Oceanside is here. Escondido Junction for the local going into Escondido. Yeah. You know what I mean. There it is. Escondido. Your tracks, Carlsbad, and Ponto. And then it branches off, and we go east to Escondido. There's track numbers, and there's a branch going to Escondido. And this page has a lot of track numbers, because this is the end of the line in Escondido, which has a major feed outlet there. You go in there today and it's just full of cars. Every time I go down there it's full of cars. Haven't caught them switching yet, but maybe one day. Here's Escondido, all the different sidings, spurs, and then here's the end of the line. There's no trains past this point here. Continuing south, back on the main line, we got Solana Beach, we have Del Mar, and Sorrento Zone. Continuing south on the main line, we got the Miramar Y. So here's a Miramar Y that would go into the Naval Air Station / Marine Corps base, because I know I get both when I do field trips up there. That goes up to Miramar. Then we have Elvira and Pacific Beach. The next page is going to take us into Miramar. So here's all the businesses for Miramar military base and the industrial complex across the street. And this shows tracks on base, which has been shortened down to like there now. I think there's maybe one track that's still used, but doesn't go all the way in the base. Here's the industrial complex across the highway to the north. More tracks. This shows Morena, Cudahy, and Old Town. Here's the San Diego River here. Next page has more tracks, and we have the Marine Corps Recruiting Depot. Basically, they do basic training down here, and then there's other services. So here's the Y before you come into downtown, and then these are all the tracks on the Marine base. Continuing south, here's your tracks. This shows the Santa Fe Depot there. It's still there today. This track arrangement is totally different, and this track doesn't come down there anymore. But in 1991, it did. Now we're coming into the area south of San Diego, next to where the trolleys are now today. And here's your tracks. Shows connection to SDIY there, and a connection there. Now we're getting into another yard. Take a look at this. In the 1988 book, looks like a tree coming off here with all kinds of spurs. So they're no longer in business up here, but surprising, in just a couple years it's gone. This is a San Diego 22nd Street yard. And I didn't mention, there's a line here shows Port of San Diego's down this way. So these are the Port of San Diego tracks. And it shows coming down from the main line to the Port of San Diego. Next page, National Steel. U.S. Navy receiving. So I guess National Steel's in here someplace. Here's Navy Yard. This is operated by the Navy, so they probably got their own equipment to move stuff around. Coming down here, we're coming up on 22nd Street Yard. I think that's what they call it. National City first. Here's all the tracks that were in existence in National City back in 1991. Here's the layout. Here's more National City. And that's the end of the line. So, shows 28th Street, 24th Street. So I guess this would, in 1988, this was the 22nd Street yard. Now it's just labeled as Zone 79 National City. There you go.